Yes, hi, I'm Jose Ramirez, super lightweight champion of the world, unified WBC and WBO champion. I started boxing when I was 8, so I'll be 28 this year. I come from a small town actually in the central part of California. It's a small community, maybe 10,000 people. So there's not much to do, and the gym opened up back in 1999. It was through the Sheriff's Activities League, just to bring some entertainment to the community, keep the kids off the streets. And my dad, he signed me up, and he got home and he was like, "Hey, Jose, I signed you up. Go check it out." So I went in there. I was very athletic. You know, as a kid, I played baseball. I loved baseball, soccer. I was a good cross-country runner as a kid. So I was very, into sports. So my dad was like, "I want you to do something all year long, not just seasonal." So boxing was it. At the time, it was part of the Sheriff's Activities League, which means there was a pool table, there was a futsal, there was like a popcorn machine. So after the gym, people used to hang out there, and they wanted to keep the kids off the streets. So they did a lot of fun activities after training. So when I went there, I went for that reason. But once I knew I was behind, there was some kids that started 3-4 months before me. I wanted to catch up, So I started spending the extra time they were having those activities after training. I was to be inside the gym and just in one heavy pack, just working on the drills, trying to catch up, trying to better myself. I was never used to not being good at something. Everything I did, from a basketball to soccer, anything you gave me, you could tell I had the abilities to be a good soccer player, a good basketball player, a good baseball player. But boxing, it was something new. No one in my family fought. We watched Chavez. My dad used to watch Chavez, but we never really, it was nothing big until I started fighting. So when I went into the sport of boxing, I went in there to the gym to meet friends. But once I started seeing I was behind, and that competitiveness that I have kicked in. So I was like, I gotta catch up, and I started putting the extra hours, the extra time, and everyone, kind of just took it as a sport, as what it was. I actually, I enjoyed what I was learning, and then after my first amateur fight in Fresno, I got to travel to Fresno, where I live now. But it's like an hour and 15 minutes from the town of Avenal. And I went to my first competition, and I fought a kid I was 8 years old. I was 60 pounds. My opponent was 65 pounds, 63 pounds. He was 9. It was his second amateur fight. And I landed a 1-2 hook. I dropped my opponent and dropped him, so I scored a knockdown in my first amateur fight. And the trophy that I got when I won my first amateur fight was this big. And I was 60 pounds, so I got this big ass trophy, and I was like, shit, It took me 3 rounds, 1 minute to get this trophy. Boxing it was all you, and then the attention, the cheers that I got from the crowd that night when I won my first amateur show. And this was only like a month and a half after I went in there. I got my license real fast. And
after you've been training?
After I've been training, just 1 month and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, just a month and a half. And again, I just threw 1-2 throughout the whole fight, and I landed 1 hook. The only hook I threw, I landed it, put the kid in the ground, and I scored a knockdown. I think, he got back up, and we went at it again, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. But I think I had the reach, so my punches were landing. It was hard to score those type of fights, when 2 kids are just going at it. But I think it was that knockdown that got me the victory, and I won my first amateur fight, and I got this trophy. Like I said, I got this big trophy. I couldn't wait to go back to Avenal and share it with my friends and be like, look what I have, And that was the beginning. I fell in love with the cheers. The people would be like, you're a future champ. Keep it up, son. You're gonna be a champ. And I've only been in the gym for a month and a half, and then my first amateur fight, and I got so much, you could say, compliments after my win, that I was like, I really fell in love with what I was doing. That's boxing just opened up those doors for me to really bring the best out of me, out of my overall potential, the way I think, the way my heart is, all my attributes, just kind of, it really played really good with boxing. So I fought over, I would say not over, but maybe 200, close to 200 amateur fights before I became an Olympian, and then now unified world champion.